Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks Live. I'm Roger Wakefield. We're coming to you live on Wednesday at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. We try to go live at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time every day, Monday through Friday, unless there's a major holiday. And not we try. We pretty much do it.
We do it. We make it happen. We've done it in the country, out of the country, on a cruise ship,
on a boat.
We like to go live every day, guys, and there's not much that's going to keep us from.
And we get to talk about the trades, not just the trade itself, but what's going on in the trade world, around the world. Everything from laws and licensing to just what's happening in the national news. So if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Hang around for a little while. Hopefully you're going to find some stuff here that you like. If you've been here before and you came back, we have no idea why. But no, really, we're glad you're here. Look, I was in the trades for 45 years.
Yep.
How long were you?
I was in just over 20 years. I was a 20-year pipe fitter, but my whole family was plumbers, so I had many years
a long time ago,
sprinkled in before that.
but here's the deal. There was never anything like this to where we could just get information about the trades. So we decided to start doing this. We do a lot of research on this to figure out what to talk about each and every day. Now, a lot of times we talk about a lot of the same stuff because it's something that's just talked about every day. So we're trying to do everything we can, but we want to say thank you for being here. We do appreciate it. And this show is sponsored by LeakPro. LeakPro is the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And if you own a plumbing company and you want to increase your bottom line, think about bringing in a new service that other people around you aren't doing, or other companies around you can't get to in 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah. Guys,
buying the complete kit, get you set up with the Sidekick and the probe. The Sidekick has an aluminum rod. The LeakPro probe has a stainless steel rod, a case that looks just freaking amazing, 2 headphones. And if you don't do leak detection now, so you're like, look, I don't know how to do it. We built a training center here just outside of Dallas, Texas. Come on out and check it out. To find out more about it, go to www.leak-pro.com. Or if you're interested in the training or you just got some questions about the complete kit, give Squirt a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. So let's talk about national news. Massive construction labor strike, of course, in California.
Yeah. And hey, this is halting major projects. Over 25,000 union workers have walked off job sites across California, impacting major infrastructure and commercial projects. Guys, they're on day 2 of this strike. It's the Automotive Transportation Union.
Okay.
And according to the VTA, the Valley Transportation Authority, they filed a legal complaint against this local because they broke a no strike clause.
You're not supposed to do that.
You're not supposed to do that. They're really kind of freaking out about this. The VTA general manager and CEO, Carolyn Gannott, said getting buses and trains rolling is imperative. This strike is having an overwhelming impact on the community, and we are working on all efforts to support our riders getting to work, school, medical appointments, and events.
Okay, so my thought real quick.
Yep.
And look, we understand no strike clause.
We do.
But how long do negotiations have to go on before you can say, look, we're not getting anywhere?
There comes a point where it's kind of like hitting a brick wall. Nobody wants to give. Nobody wants to move or budge.
Yeah.
Well, there comes a point that
somebody's got to move or budge.
Guess what? I know, the no strike clause, I remember what they told us about that, the union, and I'm just kind of like, well, look, guys, if there comes a point where I'm done, I'm done. I don't care. You want to call it a strike, call it a strike. You want to call it I'm done, I'm done. However you want to look at that. But you have to be able to negotiate. When negotiations just kind of halt. But supposedly they're saying that they're getting some mixed signals about they do want to sit down, but they won't really give them a time to sit down. So when things like this go on,
some point you got to draw a line in the sand.
Some point
you got to say, look, y'all ain't coming this way. We ain't coming this way. So we've got to figure it out. And it's funny because look, I'm I'm pro union. I'm pro open shop.
Yeah.
I mean, there's benefits to both, and I talk about this all the time. This is one place where, look, I think the union does good. They've got to make sure that our wages are keeping up with the cost of living, and it
Yep,
doesn't always happen.
That's it. Like a lot of times the contractor's like, no, it didn't go up that much. Oh, but if you actually look at the statistics of the US, oh, it went up X percent. Oh, well, no, y'all are losing 2% because we got to pay into this. We're not worried about
Well,
that.
it's like then we don't get our
Yeah.
cost of living.
That's it. So this is a rough road, a rocky terrain, no strike. I understand it, but how long has it been going on? And at what point were the workers pushed to pass this no strike on, or to be able to go ahead and go on strike and quit going?
And it's kind of crazy because we talk about the no strike and we always talk about the money because that's normally the biggest issue. And if you look at it, people don't want to just maintain. Okay. I don't, if there's a 5% cost of living increase and I get a 5% raise, guess what? I didn't get ahead. I'm just exactly right where I was. But if I've been learning and I've been growing and I'm providing more value, I want to make more money. And, the unions, I know that there was a couple of years that I was in the union, they had mandatory training. You had to come in and learn something new.
The only way to get your
Yeah,
raise.
yeah, you didn't get a raise if you didn't go through the training.
That's it.
And it was, of course, it's taught by the union, which they've got good instructors. I used to be an instructor there. But you look at things like that, and most people think that, the unions are just all about making more money and doing less work. And it's not true. I mean, look, the union does great work. They train their people better than just about any plumbing company I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But, you've got these other organizations coming up like PHCC and things like that, ABC, that, I had dinner last night.
I saw Cody's post
With
this
Cody,
morning.
I was going to say, I didn't know if you knew.
Sure
He said,
did.
oh my God, he said, Cody, Randy was one of, or he says, I knew him as Henry back then. He says,
He
but Henry was one of the very first people I ever worked with in the union.
It was.
Him, you and Strickland. Said he showed up on a job and you and Strickland were the people he worked with. But, it was neat because he's not in the union now. He tried to go union in Austin. The union's like, yeah, we don't want you.
Yep.
Okay. Now he's competing against them. Union, wake up. Man, you got a great guy down there.
Man.
He's teaching at ABC.
Yeah. Good.
And he started a plumbing class and he went to them, said, look, let's start teaching plumbers.
Yep.
And he said, Roger, my first class had first years and sixth years.
Oh, wow.
And I'm trying to teach them. And I'm like, man, I love that. So it's such a great attitude. Okay. Website review, man, you picked a tough one today.
Hey, this is for all these youngsters out there, okay? Because the key to construction is being safe on the job. You want to go home just like you showed up. So today, our website, OSHA Construction Safety website, okay? OSHA's website is a go-to resource for job site safety, compliance, training, and regulation updates. Guys, I was on there browsing this morning some of the videos. Every different part of the trade, every different type of trade, cranes, you can see mishaps if you're into that. But these are all things to learn from because some of these incidents do happen. They have happened on a job. That's why there's a video of these things actually happening. But you learn from it. It's teaching. One of the biggest things that we talk about all the time is falls. Fall hazards are horrible. They have like 20 videos on fall hazards and different ways to prevent, ladder safety, things like this. It's really huge. And if you are getting into the trade, get on here and check it out. Not everybody teaches safety the levels that OSHA teaches safety because they know all the regulations, the rules. They're the ones that put them there. They're the ones that put it out. We've got to follow it. This is the best place to go and learn.
Look, OSHA helps us get home safe each and every day. And I remember we've talked about it before, being out at Great Wolf Lodge. We worked for the pool company. We didn't work for the general contractor. And one of the general contractors comes through there one day and he comes out into the pool area And he's like, hey, y'all need to roll your stuff up and get out of here. I said, how come? He said, because OSHA's coming. I said, okay. He said, we don't want anybody on the job. I said, well, good thing I don't work for you. He said, so you're going to get fined. I said, what makes you think that? He said, because OSHA's coming. I said, dude, we're doing stuff right. We're not stopping. We got a schedule. They shut down. OSHA came out, walked around, said, man, y'all are doing great. Y'all have fun. Have a great day. Thank you. Inspected everything. The only thing we got in trouble for, one of the guys was yelling at somebody else, says, hey, pull this, do this. He said, look, you really don't need to be yelling on job sites like that. Get a radio. I'm like, you know what?
Done.
Point taken.
Done.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, if you don't know how an OSHA walk looks, there's a video on their site of everything they do. There's like 3 different videos how you can be prepared for an OSHA walk on your job site to know exactly what all they're going to do and what they're going to look at and things like that. It's out there. It's on their site because they want you to know. They don't want you to be scared of them coming to your site.
I teach you a trick. Be prepared for it every day.
Always.
And that's why I wasn't worried about it. It's like, look, all my men have been trained in OSHA. I've been trained in OSHA. I've done the OSHA 10, the OSHA 30, and OSHA instructor or something. And it's like, look, there's a way to do it. Do it right.
That's it. That 20 years in, pipe fitter working shafts and things, just do it right. It keeps the safety guys off your back. Anytime OSHA comes, come on out. Here, you check out what I'm doing. Here's what I got going on. Here's my THA. Here's every incident that could possibly happen today and how we're going to prevent it.
I love this.
And doing that plan in the mornings of everything that could happen so that you're just aware first thing, it goes a long way, guys.
Nick at Life JA.
Okay.
Says IBEW, Local 86. And Nick, I don't know where Local 86 is. If you put it in here, love to know. On lunch right now.
Awesome.
This is why we do this at the time we do it. So I'm assuming it's Central. I'm assuming it's East Coast time. East Coast where you're at. Because we set our schedule so that we'd be live when the East Coast goes to lunch.
Yep.
That way, anybody in Central Standard, Mountain, or Pacific can watch it on their lunch break. So, Nick, you're the reason we do what we do right there.
That's it.
Man, thank you so much. I love it. So, upstate New York, there we go.
Perfect.
Got a new contract this month. Do you know what the journeymen make on the check? Just out of curiosity. Do you know the total package? And do y'all still just work 35 hours a week and get paid for 40? Because I think y'all nailed it right there.
Nice.
They do. Or they did.
Yeah.
And Nick, are you, you're IBEW. Okay. I've got friends that are instructors over at Local 1, the plumbing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Nick, if you know that, man, just drop it in there. I'd love to know. All right. Business growth, hiring your first office staff. Now, I love this. Because here's the thing. If you've started a company, you had growth plans. You didn't plan on just, I'm going to start a company and I'm going to run a truck every day the rest of my life. I know plumbers that have done that. It's not a good retirement plan. It can be, but you got to put money up, and they didn't. So what I'll tell you is, and I'm going to click that. Yes. Congratulations on the new contract too, Nick. But here's the deal. There's rules. They're guidelines. They're not really rules. But here's the deal. You should not have more than one person in the office for every 3 in the field. So I'm going to let you talk about when and how to do it, but literally, of course, most people, their first office staff is their wife or their girlfriend. They can answer the phone. They can do invoicing. That they can do a lot of things that, man, I hate to say it, we get busy and we don't have time for. But I mean, even answering the phone, let's talk about Go High Level real quick. If you can't answer your phone, you need to check out rogersmarketingmachine.com. Here's the thing. A lot of us are busy and we can't answer the phone. Well, then by the time we can answer the phone, they've already called somebody else. Or by the time we call them back, they call somebody else. Then the phone doesn't ring for 2 days. Then we're like, man, I should have stopped and answered the phone a while ago. We've got things set up in Go High Level, and it'll talk about it at Rogers Marketing Machine. But go to rogersmarketingmachine.com and check it out, because can help you not have to hire somebody sooner.
Yep.
It automates a lot of stuff for you. Go ahead, Squirt. I'm
It
sorry.
helps
I
a
just got
lot.
excited when I saw that topic
It,
today.
and and like this is kind of shifting too with that statement, because there are a lot of softwares that are coming out to help with that office end. So you could actually hold off longer nowadays if you put some of these into place. But transitioning from a one-person operation to a team, it's a major step in business growth. Hiring administrative staff can improve efficiency by managing scheduling, your billing, and your customer service.
And everything he just said right there can be done automated through Rogers Marketing Machine.
That's it. All these things.
Yeah.
Customer service, it'll talk to that customer and keep them on until you get the time to call and complete everything
Text
that
them and
actually
ask them
needs to happen.
questions, and
That's it.
all the correct answers will be pulled off of your website, your social media, wherever you've got information out, and you tell it, hey, this is where we're at.
Mhm.
It'll learn your answers.
But here's kind of when most business owners should consider hiring.
Okay.
When they're spending more time on admin work than the actual trade work.
Yeah, because normally we don't spend more time on it. We just do the trade work, and the admin work doesn't get done.
Gets backed up.
It,
That's
it does, and that's when it's a problem.
Yes.
And that's when most guys go to their wife or their girlfriend and are like, look, I need help.
I just need you to do
Yeah,
this.
yeah, I can't even breathe. I am
Yep.
so covered up, I can't even breathe. So I love it. And here's my deal too. People always ask me when to hire another plumber. And what I did is I started out doing both. I was doing the admin, I was doing the office work, I was doing the management work, and I was being the entrepreneur. I was doing each job about a third as well as it could have been, because that's all I was doing it. So what I started doing is when I did get help in the office to answer the phone, I'd run calls, I'm going to say 40 hours a week. It's 50 or 60 hours a week until I couldn't run anymore. Then I brought in a plumber. Then I could let them run 40 hours a week. I could take on the other 10 or 20 or whatever it was until that grew, until I needed more then. So that's how I hired new plumbers. But admin help, man, your rule is about 1 to 3, and you want to try to maintain that to be profitable.
Yep. I like that.
Once you start getting, well, I've got 10 people in the office and 10 people in the field, you ain't making no money now. You've got to get that 10 in the office down to about 3.
And anybody in the office, please remember, y'all are field support.
Man, man.
I learned that.
And I love it.
And it's a good one to throw out there.
I was over at a main office one day as a superintendent, and they're getting some copies of some stuff. And the two ladies in the office, the two of the big office managers, were in there, and they're just complaining. The plumber's always calling. They want this and they want this, and they're can't they just figure it out? Can't they do this? Can't they do this? Can't they do this? And I finished making my copies and got ready to leave, and I walked in the office and just kind of knocked on the door and said, hey, I want to tell y'all something. And I don't mean this any way bad, but we get paid for what those guys do in the field. We don't get paid a penny for what y'all do. I don't know if y'all know that or not. So when they need help, please keep them doing what they're doing and just help them. And they're like, oh, well, we didn't mean it bad. It's like, oh, no, I heard every word. I don't think you meant it bad, but they're doing the things that keep the lights on around here, not y'all. So let's support them the best we can.
That's it.
And man, that attitude completely changed. So anyway, go ahead. Yeah, Nick, I saw this.
Here, yeah.
Okay, I agree. I love. I disagree. 60 an hour on a check when you top out, that's fantastic. So think about that, guys. New York's paying $60 an hour on a check, and I think plumbers are real close to y'all. Full package is more than twice that. So you've got the 60 an hour on the check. You've got your other 60 that's going towards pension, retirement, pension, 401k, whatever they got in it.
Vacation funds.
Vacation funds, yeah. And now here's where I got to disagree with you, Nick. And the 35-hour work week is union standard worldwide.
Joking.
Yeah. No, I know, but I read that first, and I'm like,
I wish
man.
that'd be nice, man.
That would be nice. No, y'all got it made in New York. So I know you're just kidding there, but do the electricians have a 35-hour work week too? And Nick, that 60-hour work week, or $60 an hour, is that based on a 40-hour week or a 35? And I'm just asking.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Because first I've heard of the 35 week
Oh,
thing.
I know it. And he's mad that he wasn't born and raised in New York. Okay. I love this. We're going to talk about service work. Diagnosing poor water pressure in residential plumbing. I love this stuff. I do. I do. So I'm gonna let you talk about your points, and then we're gonna talk.
I say, and that's why I picked this one for you today. Homeowners often complain about low water pressure, but the root causes vary. Okay, it's not always the same thing because some pressures differ throughout the house, and common culprits: clogged aerators,
Big one.
corroded pipes, undersized supply lines.
Hello.
No, that's one of your favorites.
Or least favorites.
Or it could just be a pressure reducing valve, that just needs adjustments, something like that. But best way to check this, using a pressure gauge at different points in the home to help figure out what's really going on and kind of diagnose issues.
Okay, now my thing is you don't need a pressure gauge at different points. Your pressure is going to be the same. Okay? Flow restriction is what you're going to run into. And this is why, and I'm going to get up on my pedestal here for just a second. These people that are coming in and pulling out copper and putting in PEX, I don't mind, but oversize it one line size. Because if you look inside that 1/2 inch fitting that you're going to stick inside the pipe that is 1/2 inch, you've just restricted the flow drastically. That's why I say I don't think you need a pressure gauge in multiple places. The pressure should be the same. It doesn't matter if the line's almost completely clogged. The pressure should still be the same. Until you turn on another valve further down the line and then see if it drops, then okay, we've got a flow issue because it's not keeping that pressure up. But, my thing is, look, low pressure is one of the hardest things to fix because it is a certain issue. And, one of the biggest ones that we got, and I'd sent a plumber out one day and they didn't even catch it. Customer called, said, "Hey man, we got low pressure on the hot water at the shower." Okay. My guys are out there looking at it, trying to figure out, Roger, we can't figure it out. It's like, okay. Did you ask them any questions? Oh yeah, we talked to them. They had a new water heater installed. No, whoa.
Yep.
Whoa. Let's back the truck up. And went back and sure enough, they had copper in there, but they took it out and put all PEX. All PEX, all the way down to the water heater, which is a no-no. We fix that one too. But guys, you got to understand, if you put in 10 1/2 inch PEX 90s, you're reducing the flow drastically. Yep. If you're not putting in full port ball valves, you're reducing the flow drastically. Now, it's funny because I was in Austin last night. Woke up at 4:00 this morning, 4:30 this morning to take a shower. The shower head felt like a fire hose.
Okay.
And I mean, spray so hard. I know I got a little red spot there. It hit it this morning. I thought, man, that's gonna make me bleed.
Yeah.
It literally it hurt to stand under it and I don't know if I kept trying to reach up and clean the nozzles, and I don't know if one was pulled out or what. But there were one or two that sprayed like a fire hose. No pressure problem or flow problem there. I'm gonna tell you.
Yep.
Pressure was beyond amazing. So anyway, what all you got here?
Using that, and then start at the fixture.
Okay.
Work back to the main line.
Because a lot of times it's just at one fixture.
A lot of the time it's just at one fixture. If there's something clogged in the angle valve, something like that. Like, it can be a lot of different things. And that's why I think they kind of say the pressure at different spots, because it could be a little different if there's some blockages. And that's mainly what you're checking for: blockages, leaks, or any pressure regulating problems. Like I was saying, a PRV, maybe they put one in this one line because they hooked something up to it. They didn't want to overpressurize.
What's a PRV?
Pressure reducing valve.
All right. I was waiting to see if you say pressure regulating. I've had
reducing.
I've had pipe fitters call it that.
They only reduce the pressure.
That's it. You can't boost it.
Can't boost it unless you install a pump.
And a tank. Yep. You don't want just a
And a
pump.
tank,
You want
yes,
a storage
that's
tank.
right.
That
You
way you
need-
boost the tank.
That's
Yep.
it.
No, and that's a good thing. There are things that you can do.
That's it. Like, that's the thing that we figured out. Any system anywhere, you can make it do what you want. If you need to add a pump to increase, or if you need to add a PRV to decrease pressures, it can be done.
And I don't believe all these home inspectors that say your water pressure needs to be between 40 and 80 psi. You adjust my pressure down to 40, we're fighting.
Yeah.
I'm
I
going to be
wouldn't do
mad
that.
at you. I will cuss you every day the rest of your life.
Yep.
I'm just telling you. Go ahead.
Check this next one out. Okay. We're going to move on to MET.
I know, and I saw this.
Our smart,
I'm wearing new boots,
our smart work boots.
but they're not
worth
smart.
it.
They're not smart.
Okay. And I did some extra research here because,
I like this GPS tracking in your work boot.
hey, smart boots now come with built-in sensors for impact detection, GPS tracking, real-time job site safety alerts.
Man, this is pretty cool.
Are you in there while the fire's going on? They're going to find you.
Man, now see that,
right,
that right there.
yeah.
I mean, think about that. If again, all we need is to chip everybody.
Chip
We'll just put a chip in everybody, put a barcode on their back. We'll know who it is.
Negative.
I know. Yeah, negatory Ghost
Negative.
Rider. Okay, go ahead.
But this is pretty
good
cool.
stuff. No,
Like,
I
I
like
mean,
this.
like we've talked about safety vests, things like this, all these smart things. Smart boots, guys. Impact detection, like that's huge. And I didn't learn that. I guess I did. I learned it as I was an apprentice working with an old man. And I'd jumped up into the back of a truck and he looks at me. He goes, man, I wish I could still do that. You don't think about it when you're young, but there's going to become a day that you can't just jump up and jump down from.
You just
all the
don't jump up
places
in there
can.
like you used to. Do
I
you?
don't. I
Me
prefer
either.
to crawl up, pull out
Yep.
my little step, and
Oh,
crawl up there.
wait, hold on, wait. Well, pull out your what?
Yeah, I drive a Ford. I got a step. It comes out of my tailgate with a handle if you want it to.
Oh, you're so cute.
Safety, baby.
Oh, come on, man.
But these work boots, they're going to help employers monitor worker movement and prevent injuries caused by fatigue and improper lifting.
Fatigue will get you.
Some of the cool ones, I think, is the impact detection. Smart boots utilize pressure sensors in the soles to detect falls or shocks, allowing for rapid assistance in the event of any accident.
And that part right there makes it worthwhile.
That's huge because safety is key, and the quicker that anybody can respond to an incident, the better chance that person has of getting through that.
So did you order us any yet?
I ordered you 4 pair.
You know the way out. Did you find them in red? I'm just checking.
I didn't look into all the brands and everything, but I did do some research to make sure this was a real thing because occasionally, it'll spit me some off the wall things. That
Don't get us wrong, guys. Chat GPT helps us put a lot of stuff together. It does.
I work with it to get some topics, but man, got to verify. I promise.
Trust, but verify.
And I make sure that anything we do talk about in here is legit stuff because I don't want to be talking about no bull.
I know. I get it. No BS. No
No
bullshit
BS,
here.
baby.
Okay, go ahead. You can talk about our next one here.
I was going to say, we want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring the episode of the Trade Talks, where we get to come to you live 10 a.m. Central, Monday through Fridays, 5 days a week. And Leak Pro builds the most precise leak detection equipment for professional plumbers. And I build 2 different pieces of equipment. I build a probe, which is strong. It's made out of a solid block of aluminum, T-handle style, with a stainless steel rod. That's real durable for kind of that meter to the home service whenever you're looking for a leak out in the yard somewhere. But whenever you step in that home or you're trying to listen through the driveway, you want to pull the side kick out because it's that pistol grip style, but it has an aluminum rod on it. And that aluminum rod is a less dense metal, so it enhances the sound, which kind of eliminates that layer of concrete whenever you're listening for your leak. And if you get the complete kit, it comes with a remote controlled outlet and everything so that you can be a one-man leak detection service. You don't have to have somebody else there feeding air into the system or trying to balance anything just right. You can remote control operate it yourself from the location where you're listening to locate these leaks. If you know stuff about it, then you understand that. If you don't, I do a 2-day in-person training here just outside of Dallas, Texas. Come out. I've got 11 leaks under a slab. I can teach you every step of the process. We go through line locating, leak detection under a slab, leak detection in the yard. But also, I do a sewer isolation testing on. I've got a cast iron and then a PVC system to where we feed test balls in from the double clean out outside and isolate branch lines throughout a home to determine exactly where a sewer line's leaking. If you want to find out any more about this, check out www.leak-pro.com, or you can give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, and we can talk about the equipment or the training.
Let's talk about MEP for a minute. I'm kind of excited.
I figured you would be.
Is copper piping making a comeback? Guys, look, I'm an old school plumber, and you know, me and Uncle Grant talked about this just the other day because I was out at his house doing a Halo 5 water install, or they were doing it. I was just kind of watching. I do that sometimes, but we're out there and they're using copper, and he said, "Look, man, I just still love copper." And I said, "Grant, I know, me too."
That's all I get.
But my thing is, and we got the blast chamber ready to go. I think you get it all put back
Just
together.
about,
yet?
yeah.
Okay.
I've got the parts out
Okay.
there.
We're gonna blow some stuff up. Let me word that properly. We're gonna blow some copper stuff up.
Glued
Glued copper. I know, glued. I was talking to Grant though, and I said, "Look, I said I've had people reach out to me saying that the company they work for won't even let them have a torch on their truck. They're not allowed to solder."
I hate when I hear guys say that.
I get
like
sick in my
fire.
stomach. I'm like, yeah, I do too. But I mean, and Grant says, look, I understand it. He says, you know, with the high cost of insurance and the higher risk of accidents or probability of
You got to be smart.
you do. And, you know, just looking at stuff like that, it's like, look, let's just train people better.
Yeah.
There's a time that, you know, maybe ProPress is the smartest thing.
That-
I have no
I
problem
have
with
no
that.
problem with press in some situation. I've done a lot of live tie-ins, things like that. Man, ProPress is amazing.
Even though some of the push to connect fittings tested higher.
Even though that.
I know.
Yep.
But still, the press fittings that we used tested up to about 700 psi.
Mhm.
If you got 700 psi in your house, you're not
Yeah.
worried about your copper pipe or your fittings.
That's it. And like when we test them in the blast chamber, guys, we know most systems
We're
are never
going
going to
way
get that
above.
high. We just want to test the limits.
We-
Okay.
yeah. Anybody can take. Hey, will that hold it at city pressure? Well, yeah, it's designed to do that.
I worked with welders and I was a pipe fitter, and it's like, how much pressure can it hold? That's all we want to know. How much pressure can a PVC glue joint hold?
You know what we need to do next?
I like this.
A water heater.
I'm working at it. I've got room for it now. I'll probably have to do it here pretty soon before they get
I
a
wonder if we can
neighborhood
do
too
it.
close to me.
In the trailer home,
Oh,
and see if it'll go through the roof. I don't know. The way
My
I
house is
think
pretty
is
close,
not
though.
right.
my house is pretty close.
Well, that's your
We'll
problem.
see.
That's your problem. You got roof problems then.
All right, back to MEP.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk
here.
about it. PEX and PVC have dominated. Okay, and we know that. It's easier to use, it's faster, it's labor saving. And any of y'all that know me, any of y'all hear me preach, understand labor is the biggest factor on projects. And if we're going to make more money, we have to control labor. Well, what a better way to control it than give them a product that installs easier and faster.
Yep.
And it works.
We
As
get
long
it.
as you don't put flow restrictions in.
That's it. Or the water municipality doesn't send the wrong chlorine down it and starts deteriorating it or
Mhm.
something like that. Like
It
there's all
doesn't
these
bother
things.
copper as
There's all
near
these
as
things.
much.
Doesn't bother copper near as much.
Yeah.
You know, copper's antimicrobial. It resists corrosion and it lasts longer than plastic piping.
Yeah. The copper is not going to put mold, mildew, or bacteria back in your system, anything at all like that.
Yep.
It just doesn't do it. And copper stands up to the chlorine really pretty daggum good. It has for years.
And then also price fluctuations in the metals market have impacted copper's viability, but some contractors prefer it for high-end or commercial projects. Or my residential project,
or my
okay?
house. Yeah.
Like, and we're old school. Like, I was raised old school. I prefer a lot of the old ways of doing things just naturally myself. I know that solder holds better than any other way of connecting copper, except brazing, of course.
Or gluing.
So that's kind of my standard. Yeah, or I'm
Guys, if y'all have not seen that video, you need to go look at the video on the Roger Wakefield channel.
Yeah.
Glued copper joint.
Glued copper held over 7,000 psi when the
Weld.
socket welded stainless blew off. Okay, the gauge goes flying. It's crazy. I want to see if I can blow apart this glued copper, and it's been sitting a long time now, so
It may be
it's
better, it may
really
be worse.
we're really gonna be putting it to the test this time, and maybe we'll glue a new one and compare those two.
And the thing is, guys, our pump will only go up to 10,000 psi, and we're
That's it.
70% of the way there already.
Yes, yeah. So it may not blow. I'm hoping it doesn't. Honestly, if it will sit there and hold 10,000 psi,
If it does, we need to see for how long.
ooh,
Now we set a timer.
timer. I like that. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can time it. Okay. See if we blow another weld first.
Denver Sharp Boy says our union is supposed to get a $10 increase in a 3-year span. Yeah, I've been involved with raises like that, and says which will push our wage to $60 an hour. Man, y'all
Nice.
are doing good.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wish Texas had 60 an hour on a check. I think it's just now getting up to 40.
Probably getting right around 40. I bet.
Mhm.
I need to call my buddy. Be there.
All right.
Where's
Price
the
and
work?
fluctuation is the biggest deal, guys. Remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Where the word?
Rise of multi-use developments in urban centers.
Man, these are cool.
This is something we see more and more around us all the time. This is becoming the new thing, I think.
And people love it because, man, they can rent an apartment or buy a condo or whatever.
Yep.
And go downstairs and there's restaurants, there's stores, there's bars, there's everything you can imagine.
I can remember seeing TV shows where they lived above a Chinese restaurant or something. It's like, man, wouldn't that just be so cool? Anytime you're hungry, just go downstairs and order you some fried rice real quick.
You did that when you lived
Go
with
back
me.
up.
You just came downstairs and said, hey,
Yeah,
what's
you
for
know,
dinner?
It works.
Man,
It
that ain't
works.
even right.
You just hear the dinner bell and it's like, oh, hey, I'm here.
Because when it's ready, I stand and ring the bell. Randy, supper's on.
But it's really cool. Shops, stuff like that. But they don't just build a store now. No, let's build some units above it where people can live.
So cool.
Well, like it's really neat. More cities are approving mixed use developments that combine residential, commercial, and retail spaces. So happy to see this going. Developers prefer the multi-use projects to maximize land value and meet the urban growth demands. Because as we know, all these new stores are going, they need workers. Workers need somewhere to live, preferably
Right upstairs.
right upstairs or across the driveway or down the street, around the block. Like, it is so nice when you actually live really close to your job because there's not a bunch of commute. And I think it's pretty cool where it's headed.
I think it's freaking phenomenal. And, you know, the cool thing about it is, I mean, we're in Wiley, Texas. Over across from Home Depot, they're doing this. So right here in Wiley.
Right here.
And Wiley's got a 50,000 population, somewhere around in there. So it's not like we live in downtown Dallas. We're out in the suburbs, and it's working.
Yep.
All right. And I like seeing that stuff grow too. Okay, instructor training. Oh man, are online trade schools effective?
So it's a big question that a lot of people ask. And my personal answer is it depends on what they're trying to gain from it. Do you expect them to be able to sit there and learn from online and just go into the field and just do everything that they learn?
Not gonna happen.
That's not going to happen. There does have to be some hands-on learning because, well, we're all human beings. We've got to put our hands on some things and actually go through the motions and feel a toilet break and feel some different things happen. Like, you can't just learn that virtually.
And look, some people learn visually. They can just watch somebody.
Yep.
Okay. Watch somebody, they're good. They can do it time and time again. Some people can listen and understand it. They don't have to see it. They don't have to feel it. You just tell them what they do, and they're visualizing it in their mind. They're hearing it auditorily. There's visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Kinesthetic is me. I want to touch it. I want to feel it. That's how I learn the best. And that's the way most people are. So that's where, to me, look, online courses, look, I teach online courses. I've got online courses to teach people how to get in the trades, how to be a better tradesman, how to start your own business, how to network and use social media and all that and grow your business. So I know online works. I take online courses too. But at the end of the day, I need to touch something. I need to do something. So I implement those things. And that's why the courses that we teach, there's a worksheet after. Hey, go in here and answer these questions. Now you're thinking about it. You're using your hand. You're using your mind. You're watching, you're listening, and you're touching.
And that's my favorite is the hybrid courses, guys. Online coursework and in-person labs. That's becoming way more popular. A lot of the schools around here, colleges, high schools, everything, they have a shop where they've got some examples built that you can go in and actually pipe. You can actually wire up a house. You can wire rooms. You can do all these different things and put your hands on them in these labs. And it's a safe working environment for them to go and learn. And it's one of my favorite ways, I think.
You know, I like it. I truthfully think that. And look, there's a lot of trade schools around here, not just the union, but actually schools that teach people the trades. And one day I'm wanting to build a training center out here. Well, I mean, without a doubt. Yes, Denver, Texas is cheaper. So the thing I've noticed about the construction up here in Ontario is that the homes are cookie cutter built. I feel like the skilled labor has degraded over the years. Oh, it has. We know that. Yes, we need to get more people and better people into it. But back to the instructor training. I was one of those instructors. I wanted people to work together. I wanted them to not just sit there. I mean, I remember in my drawing class, you know, everybody had their own set of prints, and I wanted them to go through and color them. I want you to either color the water lines, hot, cold, return. I want you to color the duct. Is it supply duct, return duct? And man, you go through and make your drawing look real, and it's like, now it makes sense.
That's like estimating 101, guys. When you're doing $35 million project and you got 2 weeks, first thing I do for day one is coloring, guys.
You bet.
So that you can quickly identify what's on your drawings. It's huge.
And they used to laugh at me. They're like, we're just playing with colors. It's like, yeah, wait till you're done. Then they look at the drawing and they're like, wow. They're like, okay, this makes sense.
Wait till you're making six figures in an office and you're sitting there with your prints and your coloring.
All day long.
And it's because you need to do that to truly speed up the next part of the process.
It helps you see the job better.
Yep.
And to me, that's a great way to put it. But you were trained mainly hands-on.
Yep.
But here lately, you're doing a lot of online training.
Tons.
Where do you think you learn better?
Honestly, I'm more of a field person naturally. Now I've been a gamer all my life, so watching videos, things like that, I do learn a lot. Like there's a lot of times I'm in the middle of doing something hands-on and I pull out that video to learn from it. Super mechanically inclined, so I can watch that.
I don't know if I'd say super, maybe a little bit.
Okay, maybe just a little. I take what I see there and I can pretty much replicate it for the most part. Like I was saying earlier with the hands-on part and filling a toilet crack. That's why we created a video trying to figure out the actual torque that it takes, because every plumber I ever heard from is like, well, once you do one, you'll know you don't ever want to go that tight again. And that's the only way they could explain it is like, look, it's just this feeling. Like you can kind of hear the porcelain sometimes, but it doesn't always ping before it cracks. So there's lots of different things. So it can't replace it. Everything out there. Some things have to have hands-on, but a lot of things you can learn exactly how to do it, the right steps and process through digital trainings. Go out there and practice it in the real world. Like I could watch a video on how to use a hammer till I hold a nail and swing that hammer. Mentally, I don't understand yet. So that's kind of how I feel.
You know, and for the hands-on too, and I've told people before, they're like, look, I want to get into plumbing, but you know, nobody will hire me. Okay. Ask your mother if she'd like to have a new lavatory faucet. Ask her if she'd like to have a new kitchen faucet. If she says yes, watch my videos. turn off the water, make sure the water's off, climb up under there, take it apart, put it back together, install the new one. And then when you got the old one, tear it down, tear it up, all the little pieces apart, put it back together. Learn how to do stuff like this. I mean, I don't know many mothers or wives or girlfriends that you couldn't go to and say, hey, you know what? Would you like to have a new faucet in your bathroom? Man, you learn how to do that. That's
love
a game
that.
changer. Yeah. Yeah. Happy Valentine's, baby.
Yeah.
Well, it's June. Well, okay, we can still celebrate. But I mean, there's just a lot of different things that you can do to learn this. People ask me all the time, like, what's the best way to learn plumbing? The best way to learn is to do it. You can get online. I have no problem with online schools, but I think if there's not some hands-on, physically touching it and doing it, that's what I like about, Naaman Forest and Collin College. Man, they got shops. You're in there working with the tools in the sand, in the dirt, tearing something apart, putting it back together, whatever it is. And to me, that's what you need.
And something that crossed my mind was watching a video. If that teacher is actually telling you, make sure your letters turn up when you're laying pipe in a ditch,
Your teacher told you.
or when it's overhead, your letters are down so the inspector can see this. If they're not saying that and they're just doing it and you're watching them do it, you're never going to learn that is actually a step in the process that they're thinking. So you're going to want to get a training course. It's pretty thorough and detailed about everything you're teaching to.
And a lot of people don't teach stuff like that because they weren't taught that way. But, you tell the story about an inspector, and I tell the story about an inspector walking a job and looking, and the apprentice is like, you want a level? You're like, man, by looking at this pipe, I can tell you it's level. Because whoever takes the time to do it like this takes the time to make sure it's right all the way around. And it's true, we do. So it's just something worth looking at and thinking about and saying, okay, look, if I'm going to do things, and even like the no-hub bands, I wanted to make sure my nuts were all on top and facing the same direction. That way, when the inspector walks up and looks at it, it's like, man, this looks really, really good. I know.
It's also easier to go back and check it with a T-handle,
Yeah.
guys.
Okay, specialty, and this is a good one. The growing popularity of off-grid plumbing and electrical. Now, I've said for years, I want to build a completely off-the-grid house. I want solar panels. I want wind turbines. Yes, I want both. I don't even care if I sell it back. I'll just put it in battery packs because I guess you may need to be plugged in. Plumbing, rainwater harvesting, gray water reclamation. I want to do it all. So what all you got here? Because this is some pretty good stuff.
So more homeowners are opting for self-sufficient water and power systems. We see it in the neighborhoods around here,
yeah.
solar on all the houses and stuff. See some different rainwater collection systems on the little more country spaces. But I do see it around. And, that it's a good direction that we're headed. Plumbers are installing rainwater catchment, gray water recycling, and composting toilets. And in a lot of the prefabricated units that we were seeing, they have a lot of these toilets in them. Electricians are setting up solar power systems with battery backups for total energy independence. And off-grid, so many people are headed off-grid nowadays. You see it on socials and stuff a lot.
People reach out and ask about it all the time.
Doing communities, okay? Off-grid communities where a bunch of just different people, random folks, are getting together and creating a hub, a community, a family.
And TikTok, Instagram, I'm looking. It looks like there's some questions and stuff in there because I see the longer lines. What I'll tell y'all is I can't see those. If you want to, jump over to YouTube, search the Trade Talks Live, and man, just put a Q in there. And if you did jump over from TikTok or Instagram, let us know where you came from. I'd appreciate that.
I was going to say one of the keys to all this is understanding renewable energy.
Become a lead AP if you want to. Water
conservation, study it, research it, filtration, things like this, how to actually get good from everything we collect. An alternative waste management system is essential too, like the composting toilets, things like that. What are things that you can do in your daily off-grid life to keep things running smooth?
Man. And guys, look, this is only going to get bigger because we got people moving further and further out in the country where there may not be water lines, there may not be sewer lines, anything like that yet. So to be able to build a house off the grid is really a good thing. I got NYC E4M says, "Hey, I'm from TikTok. Man, good to have you here." And Dari Safrik says, "Greetings from Belgium, plumbers. Good to have you in here." Click on this. Say hello to NYC E4M. How you doing? Man, hello from Belgium. NYC EM4 says, I'm looking to become a plumber. What's a good way to start at 17, graduating this high school this summer? Man, what I would tell you is start figuring out now. And if you go to my YouTube channel, the Roger Wakefield Plumbing Education, there's a free course in there that asks what kind of plumber you want to be. And it talks about residential, commercial, new construction, service, union, non-union, and ask you some questions to help you figure out some things. And to me, that would be the very first thing that I would want to figure out. How much do my B1? Man, I have no idea. Great to have you guys in here, though. Thank y'all for jumping over, especially from TikTok there, NYC E4M. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to roll right down into here. Got a little social media roofing edition. It's Wednesday. The Roofer Girl.
The Roofer Girl. So she's breaking barriers in traditionally male-dominated industry, inspiring the next generation of women in the trades. She shares job site insights, tool recommendations, and hands-on roofing tutorials. Pretty cool. She's just showing off what she does, and that's what I tell a lot of people. If you're in the trades and you're not on social media, get on there and start showing what you do for your family, for your kids, for friends, whatever. Get out there and start posting it. Let people see what you're doing.
And it's really funny because we got NYC E4M here from TikTok. We've also got Jeremy Ryan.
From
I hope
Insta.
I got that right, from Instagram. So yeah, and we were talking about off-grid systems. Yes. It's Energy Star. Clayton, how much do my B1? It's Insta. I still not enough information there. Specialized plumbing, great stuff. Man, I love that. You know, the neat thing is, guys, look, we do this every day at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. We do it 10 o'clock here because that's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. So if you're eating lunch at 11 o'clock, guess what? You got a place to hang out. You got a place to visit, got a place to talk the trades. Love to hear from you. Unfortunately, you do have to be on YouTube for us to see the comments and reply back and stuff like that. But it's neat to get people in here. And the reason I give them a shout out real quick, they're on TikTok and Instagram, which is exactly where the Roofer Girl is.
That's it. She's on Instagram and TikTok, both. Some of the recent highlights: breaking into the roofing industry as a woman. Best roofing boots for all-day comfort and safety. That's
Okay,
huge.
I like that.
This is stuff we like to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah, comfort and safety by not falling off the freaking roof.
And being comfortable in your boots every day, because we wear them
Some of us ain't.
so many hours.
Yes.
You've got to have a good pair of boots. And to get any tips from anybody on boot, I like to listen to them all just to see, even though all our feet are different, but it's always worth a shot. How to handle difficult clients in roofing without losing your cool.
Maybe I should go watch that.
Twice, please. And these are huge. It's a good thing to know. Dealing with frustrating clients and still being professional about it. I take tips from everybody on that, because any different way that you can come up with
To
to keep your cool and communicate properly is a good tip to have in your pocket.
And I'm gonna give you a big tip here. Learn empathy. Learn to understand what people are going through. And it was so good. I mean, I remember listening to Amber answer the phone one time, and she's like, "Look, I've been there. I know exactly what you're going through," and she had. So when you can learn to listen to people and be empathetic with them and understand them, it helps a lot. It's not what we always want to do, but you've got to look at it and say, they see this a completely different way than I do. And sometimes the best thing to do is just bite your tongue and listen. Nightlight, how are you doing? Good to see you in here. Says, what's the best lunch to pack for the job site? In the wintertime, I like soup because it's hot.
I was
Go
going to say,
ahead.
do you have a microwave in your job box? Because I had one just to carry from job to job. I prefer a warm lunch,
Me too.
but I'm always jealous of that guy that opens
Speaking
up
of
that
warm lunch, I'll see
cooler,
y'all later.
has a couple sandwiches, different chips, different snacks, some fruits, some sweets. Dude,
Have you ever built a job site oven?
I have.
Guys, you get when you deal with enough HVAC people, you know that you can get that insulated board, and I mean they will wrap it up good. And I want you to know, I ate soup just the other day, 2 days ago, Amber. So you be careful there.
My favorite to throw in that oven, pot pies.
Oh yeah,
Oh my gosh.
slow cook all day. They'll be crunchy.
You can also put them in a weld rod oven if you don't really have to keep any rods in there.
Yeah, but yes, you're not supposed to do that though. So if they're difficult, send them to test stuff that's not necessarily but gives you room. Off the grid systems, I guess. Okay.
Oh.
Makes sense. Jeremy Ryan says, also, you're only as good as your paperwork. Write it down so that everyone is on the same page. Absolutely. And Demdari Safriq says, not always though, but I do wish it. Do wish it works always. Yeah. Amber says, go Amber. And yes, love the empathy. Indeed. Roger didn't know you ate soup. I had jalapeno cheddar from Jason's Deli just the other day. Thank you very much. And Nightlight says, shout out to Austin 286. I was actually down in Austin. Is TJ still in Austin? He used to be a director or trainer or something like that down there. I think his name was TJ, or I think it's TJ. Anyway, yeah, it's I was in Austin last night.
This morning.
Went down, yeah, this morning. Woke up there at 4:30 this morning so I could get home in time. So yeah, and man, I'm a big Austin fan, so I love it down there. Okay, Nightlight, I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever had the best tacos in the world?
I was about to ask, how were my tacos last night?
Oh my God, they were good. Ask Cody about them. He's like, okay, these are good. So yes. Suerte.
Have you been there?
If you have not been to Suerte on East 6th Street, you need to go and order the Suadero tacos. They are a game changer. 8:32:10. Clayton, man, you're just kind of giving me bits and pieces here and there. I really don't know what you're trying to find out, but I wish I could help you. Something about your tankless.
Oh, that B1, the Energy Star.
Yeah, how much do my B1? I don't know. Yeah, a little more info. The best tacos are in New Braunfels. Now, wait a minute. We're going to have to talk. Where at?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have to try it. Yeah.
Hey,
see, sorry, we got lost on good
We're
questions
foodies,
today.
okay? We are
you talk
foodies in
food to
this
us, you can
place.
derail the entire show because it'll be like, okay, wait a minute. I need the deets on that.
Luckily, we're in best questions. So you
I know,
these fit.
I know.
This
These
works.
fit
This
right in.
works.
Have you eaten the best tacos? So, yes, I love that. Okay. Los Gallos.
All right.
Okay. I'm
I
gonna
have
put
to
that
note
up.
that.
I'm gonna put that up for everybody to see, guys. Los Gallos tacos in New Braunfels, and I love New Braunfels too.
I like
I love to
going to
ride my
Cider
motorcycle down
Oh.
there. So
I've
pretty
planned a
cool.
trip with the kids. Yeah.
Talk about League Pro.
We want to thank League Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They let us come in here, hang out, and talk blue collar trades for an hour.
All day.
Monday through Fridays, guys. We're here to hang out with you for your lunch break. But Leak Pro does build the most precise leak detection equipment for professional plumbers. I build two different pieces of equipment. I build a probe T-handle, real solid. It's got a stainless steel rod, which is durable for that meter to the home service. Anything you've got out in the yard, this thing's made for it. It can hold up driving it down into the ground if you have to. I also build a Sidekick. It's an aluminum rod on it. It's pistol grip style for that comfort when you're going in the home, sticking it into cabinets, things like that. The best part is whenever you're listening through that slab to find a leak, that aluminum rod kind of eliminates that layer of concrete for whenever you're listening for the sounds that you need. If you want to check out my equipment, you can visit www.leak-pro.com, or you can give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. And guys, if you don't know anything about leak detection, I do also offer a 2-day in-person training just outside of Dallas, Texas. Come out here. I'll teach you how to locate lines. I've got 11 leaks under a slab, one outside of the slab, so that you know what that sounds like too. But then I also have a cast iron and a PVC sewer system set up where we'll teach you how to actually isolate branch lines from that main to determine exactly where a sewer line is leaking, so that you can offer that for your customers also.
So if you want to talk to Squirt about the training, give him a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. And you can check out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. And Clayton says it's Los Gatos Tacos almost a foot long.
All
Yeah,
right.
we may need to go check that out.
Yeah.
We may need to go check that out. So, guys, look, thank you for being here. I love it when people jump in and comment and become part of the show. If you want to be here more often and become part of the show more often, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. That way you get notified every time we go live, every time we post a podcast video or anything like that. But that way you get notified and you're aware of it. If you like what you saw here today, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, it's Squirt's fault. Give us a thumb down, but hit it twice. That way it goes away. So I love it. We outsource leak detection to a specific company, but we'll call about training the guys just so they know how it works better. Now, you don't want to train them just so they know how it works better. You want to train it so you don't outsource it anymore. Literally, we had a guy come in the other day. Matter of fact, when I talked to Cody last night, he said, Roger, there's a company down here that does leak detection. They are 6 weeks out. I'm like, dude, you need to learn leak detection. He said, no, I think I do. So very neat. Roger, question over here. We have viewing pits for the sewers, but they go straight down like a T. On your videos, you guys use mostly 45s. What's your opinion on both systems? We don't stick a lot of viewing in. We have test ports, but not a lot of viewing on the sewer lines.
The straight T. I wonder if he's talking about that 2-way.
Oh, the single
thing,
fitting. Yeah. And the double fittings. Yeah. We make you do it in the harder one, basically the one that's the T that you're talking about. So yes. Thank you, Mahit. Appreciate that. Our viewing pit kills my rat. Okay. Clayton, I'm still learning inspection. Everything is Greek to me. And guys, that's why you want to come in for training. That way you learn how to do it and do it right.
Yep.
So thank you all for being here today. Remember, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on anything, because we want to bring this great value to you each and every day.
I got good news, everybody. It is all downhill from here because it is hump day. So let's get out there, hit it effing hard, and I hope to see you back here tomorrow. Bye, guys.
See you guys.